Have you ever looked at someone and just wondered, how do they do it? How do they seem to succeed at everything they touch? Well, it turns out greatness isn't something you're born with. It's something you build. The secret, and it's a big one, is realizing that we are all capable of winning. We just have to learn how to become the architects of our own brains. So the real question is, how do we start building? So this is where we start, with this really powerful idea of your future self. It's all about getting a clear picture of the person you want to become. And then, well, you start living like that person, right now. This vision of your future self becomes your compass, your North Star, guiding every single decision you make. But, and this is important, this isn't just wishful thinking. It's a real biological process. And that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? How does a simple thought, a vision of who you want to be, actually create physical change inside your head? We're about to pull back the curtain and connect that amazing psychological idea to the actual tangible biology that makes it all happen. Okay, let's dive into this first concept, because before we can rewire anything, we need a blueprint. And that blueprint is your future self. What's so amazing about this is just how simple and powerful it is. When you have a crystal clear image of your future self, you can finally line up your day-to-day choices with your biggest goals. It's the difference between, getting pulled in a million directions by short-term distractions and actually moving with intention toward the life you want. This vision is basically the job description you're handing to your brain's CEO. So speaking of the CEO, let's actually meet the part of your brain that takes that vision and starts making it a reality. This is the hardware that runs the whole operation. Everybody, meet your prefrontal cortex, or PFC for short. I want you to think of this as the executive suite of your brain. It's that part right behind your forehead that does all the heavy lifting, planning, making tough calls, and telling your impulses to take a hike. While other parts of your brain are stuck in the here and now, your PFC is the part that lets you dream about the future. It is literally the neurological home of your ambition. Just look at this list of responsibilities. You can see why we call it the CEO. Your PFC is what lets you pause, step back from whatever's happening right now, imagine a totally different future, and then line up all your resources to actually go out and build it. It's the difference between just reacting to life and actively designing it. Now, having this powerful piece of hardware, the PFC, is one thing, but for it to really work its magic, it needs the right operating system. And that software, that's what we call a growth mindset. This comparison right here, it's everything. A fixed mindset tells you that your talents are carved in stone. You've either got it or you don't. Simple as that. But a growth mindset, it knows that ability can be developed. It sees a tough challenge not as a threat, but as an opportunity to get better. This belief system is the fuel for your PFC, telling it, hey, the effort is worth it. So the critical difference is how you talk to yourself when things go wrong. Someone with a fixed mindset gets rejected at a dance, and their brain says, I'm unlikable. See how that's internal? It feels permanent. So they just give up. But the person with a growth mindset, their brain says that one person didn't want to dance with me right now. The problem becomes external and temporary. So what do? They go ask someone else. It's all about how you frame it. All right, so we've got the vision. We've met the brain CEO. We've installed the right mindset. Now for the really cool part, the work. How do we physically forge the new neural pathways that actually build skill and create success? This quote is a total game changer. Skill isn't magic. It's biology. When you learn to play an instrument or speak a new language or lead a team, you're physically building a living, breathing electrical circuit inside your brain. And that construction project follows some very specific rules. So to build those circuits right, you have to be in the right zone. If they're in the comfort zone, you're just going through the motions. There's no growth there. And the panic zone? Well, that's just overwhelming. The sweet spot, the place where all the magic happens, is the learning zone. It's that place where you're stretching yourself, reaching for something just beyond your current abilities. And this is exactly how you do it. I want you to picture walking up a really icy hill. You can't just run up it. You have to slow down, pay super close attention. And when you slip, and trust me, you will slip, you have to feel that mistake, adjust your footing, and try again. Every single one of those corrected repetitions is a direct signal to your brain that says, hey, this circuit is important. Make it better, faster, and stronger. Now, if we zoom way into the microscopic level, this is what's actually happening. It's called long-term potentiation. Basically, every time you fire a neural circuit over and over, the connection between those neurons, the synapse, it gets physically stronger. This is the real science behind that famous saying, neurons that fire together wire together. This is step one of hardwiring a brand new skill.
But wait, there's a secret ingredient: myelin. As you keep practicing in that deep, focused way, special cells in your brain start wrapping layers of this fatty insulation around that nerve fiber. It's like insulating an electrical wire. The more layers of myelin, the faster and more precise that signal becomes. This is how a clumsy, slow action transforms into a smooth, fast, and totally effortless skill.
And that's really the ultimate takeaway here. We're not just talking about abstract practice. We're talking about targeted, focused effort that builds a physical substance inside your brain. You are literally, physically growing your talent one layer at a time. So let's bring it all home. We've looked at the vision, the hardware, the software, and the construction process. Now, let's lay out the final blueprint. Here it is, the 4 key steps to becoming the architect of your own ambition. First, you visualize. You give your brain's CEO, your prefrontal cortex, a clear target. Second, you believe. You install that growth mindset that knows effort is the path to mastery. Third, you practice. You get into that learning zone and do the deep, focused work. And finally, you repeat over and over, because consistency is what builds the myelin that makes your skills permanent and automatic. So, you have the biology, you have the strategy, and now you have the blueprints. The power to design and build the person you want to become, it isn't some far-off dream. It is a real neurological process that you can start today, right now. The only question left is, what are you going to build?